Hello Yellow Group. Today is Friday and it is the last of your maths lessons for this week. So as always, let's go straight into our arithmetic practice. So here we go. 5 minutes again. Stop the video now. Do the questions and then mark your answers. And remember to purple pen them if you get them wrong. So once you've done that and you're comfortable that you've got them all right and you know what the answers are, then let's move on to the main part of the lesson. So again, as I've said to you, today is Friday. We are continuing with the theme of the week where we are solving division problems using a formal written method. So you know by now that it's really important to use your times table facts to help you to divide. And I know that many of you have been using 510 Derive to write your times tables down on the side of your piece of paper so that you have got them in front of you. Also, you're going to, again, as in previous days, pictorially represent the calculation for me, and you're going to do an inverse calculation to check your answers are correct. So let's have a look at the questions that we are dealing with today. So, okay, pizzas, lovely. Okay, so we are now, have got the problem here, and again, like yesterday, it's going to be a two-part problem, and it's in pounds and pence. So my top tip for you would be to use pence, not pounds, to convert them. So we would be multiplying by 100 to take out the decimal point. So you would have 250 pence and 145 pence. So here, let's read the question. A large pizza costs £2.50 each. A small pizza costs £1.45 each. We have 12 children buying one large pizza and two small pizzas for their party, and they share the cost equally. Remember, share equally means divide. So they're dividing the amount by the cost of all those pizzas by the number of children that are there. So I'm going to have to underline my key information. So I know that a large pizza costs £2.50. I know a small pizza costs £1.25. That's very reasonable. Reasonable pizzas. We had expensive mangoes and pineapples the other day, didn't we? And I know I've got 12 children. And those 12 children buy one large pizza and two small pizzas for their party. Okay. And they share the cost equally. How much does each child have to pay is what I'm finding out. So the first thing I have to do is represent what we've got pictorially so far. So I've underlined the key information. Let's represent it. Well, I know that my top bar includes one large pizza at £2.50 and two small pizzas at £1.45 each. So I've got 250 pence, 145 pence and 145 pence. Now they're going to share the cost of all that equally between 12 of them, and that's what this bottom bar represents. But I needed to draw another bar up on the top here so I can add all these up. So let me just give you an example. Here we go. So I need another bar on the top so I can then add these together to get my overall price. And I've done that already, so let me show you what that comes to. So we have here the first part of the question. Again, the bar that was there before. So we have the large piece was 250 pence and the two small pieces 145 pence. Now I've added them together. Now, if you don't feel confident adding them in a column of 3, add 2 together and then add them again. So split that into 2 sections. So you could add 145 and 145 together and then add 250 onto that. But we know that altogether, the children have spent 540p or £5.40. Pretty reasonable. So now we have to find out how much does each child pay. So we're sharing that 540 pence 12 ways. So I do that by doing my formal division method. So this is the step 2. You've done step 1 by finding out the total cost. Now you have to split that cost 12 ways. Now this is your 12 times table. So I strongly recommend that you do your 510 Derive. So I know that 1 times is 12, 10 times is 20, therefore I know 120. Therefore I know that half of 120 is 60. So I've got my 1 times, 5 times, and 10 times, and then I can start to add and calculate the rest of the times tables. And that's going to help me to calculate this. Now, I know that 12 doesn't go into 5, so I put my 0 up here. 12 goes into 54. Let's have a look at this. Well, I've got 48 here and 60. 60 is too big, so it's got to be 48. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 4 times is 48. 48 from 54, I know, is 6. So 12 goes into 60. Here we go. Exactly 5 times. So I know that each child is going to have to pay 45p. So I have to do my worded problem. So my answer is, my worded answer. So my answer is each, I'll type now, each child will pay 45p. And it's important to put that unit of measure in so that I get my answer right. If I just left 45, it could be what, 45 bananas, 45 elephants? No, you've got to give your unit of measure. Each child will pay 45p. So then the last thing that I need to do is do my inverse to check. So here we go. How can I check my answer is correct? We do the inverse. So you would know that you would do 45 multiplied by 12, and that should bring you back to 540. So yellow group, excuse me. Lots of steps in this. I suggest that you take it slowly and steadily, working your way through this information and following. I'd have this page up in front of you so that you can clearly see each of the steps that I have done. And if you have this here and follow the questions that are going to come for you, then you'll be fine. Let me show you what I want you to do now. So this is your task 1. You've got pizzas and small pizzas and children. So what I would like you to do is to work your way through these 6 questions. Don't have to do them all, but what I want you to do is at least 4. And I want you to do 1, mark it, and move on if you get it right. If you get it wrong, go back and check where you have gone wrong, because that checking is really important so that you understand where the error was and how to correct it. So I want at least 4 of those done. If you're thinking you're a bit wobbly and you'd like to do the other 2, that's fine. If you're confident after the 4, then I'd like you to move on to task 2. Let's have a look at task 2 now. So task 2, these are our mastery tasks. So you have written calculations here and 2 children saying what they think. And you've got to decide which child is correct. Now, the only way you're going to know this is by doing the calculations. So you've got task 2 here. You've got 1 child saying one thing, which child is correct, who is correct, explain your answer. And then here, a bit more of a challenge, which calculation could be the odd one out below? Now, remember, yellow group, I only want you to do task 2 if you feel completely confident with task 1. If you're not so sure about task 1, just complete all 6 questions and show me that you understand at the end of the lesson. If you are confident, have a go at these. So, yellow group, once you've done all that, I want you to mark your answers, of course, and then send them into your class teacher at the end of the day. And that then, yellow group, brings us to the end of Friday's lesson. Have a lovely weekend. I'll speak to you next week.